All right. Hello and welcome to Friday with the Founders. My name is E.R. Wolf. I'm one of the co-founders here at Elify. I'm joined with my business partner, Guy Toole. And this is all things Elify. So if this is your first time watching this, or maybe you're watching this on the live stream, we want to talk about us. We want to talk about who we are, what we do, the Elify solutions, this Elify community, and even the Elify opportunity here to join and come alongside us. Guy, we've been doing these themes throughout the week, throughout the last successive weeks here, and this week's theme is really how do we introduce ourselves, and introducing ourselves in a whole new way. And you will come to find out that we are big proponents of leveraging technology to market, to network, and to refer our business. And a lot of that boils down to relationship. The people that we're interacting with, our potential customers, our prospects, and all of those types of things. So before we get into that, let's kick it off in talking about what is Elify? Who is Elify? And Elify is a technology company. Guy and I have been working within the technology space for well over a decade plus, providing solutions to large and small businesses to help them take their business to the next level. And the focus for Elify is really making micro technologies that any business can use to support and benefit certain marketing, networking, and referring aspects of their business. So things like digital business cards, things like landing pages, QR codes, NFC or tap technology, relationship building tools, networking tools. These are all components that in business we can use to go out and prospect, generate more leads, close more business, provide marketing materials so people can make an informed decision, and ultimately affect and impact our bottom line, which is what most of us are in business to do. So as a whole, Elify creates technology, but Elify is a lot more than that. And Guy, if you want to talk about the community, I'll go ahead and pass it over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Elify, it is a community. We're community driven. We're about networking. We're about providing resources, support to help people either in their businesses, their opportunities, but being able to market themselves, their products, their services, whatever it is. We wanted to make sure that we bring community together to have a place to do that, to share the information, to share the knowledge, bring a lot of like-minded people together to say, you know, there's a simpler way of doing business. And, you know, we're really leaning into the fact of providing technology, micro technologies that are available from larger technologies, higher costs, multiple subscriptions in order to do, but we wanted to make them so they can be replicatable. And we have these individuals and networks that you can work together, you can do and share the exact same information, to have a compliant message if a business is looking for compliance, but making sure that the technology that we have is helping you advance forward. And it helps when we implement and we have an idea of what we're wanting to create and why we're wanting to create it. I think there's so many people out there that are looking for us, but in the same sense might believe that they have the correct path. And it's great to see. But I think it's just being able to offer that support and say, hey, if you take a look, there's a chance that you could potentially reduce your costs. There's a chance that you could see a better return on your investment from what you have from your mobile device, to be able to get that marketing information out there that you've so needed so bad in a digital form. Being able to network with those individuals, being able to refer business. I don't know anybody in business who doesn't want referrals. You know, if that's what it comes down to, having a conversation is like, you know, this community works on really helping other people and referring business to each other. And if it's not for you, then business might not be for you. Right. And it really is as I guess harsh as that statement can be, is we provide technology to help people come into a community, to be able to market their information, to be able to network with others, learn more, build relationships, and be able to build an economy with each other by referring business for each other. That is a sole focus. Like, we are guiding people in a way, this whole, week on introducing yourself, guiding people in a way to introduce themselves with the technology that's available for them that wasn't available to you 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And it's the wave of the future. It's what's happening. If you're not a part of it, then you're probably going to get left behind. And it's a sad truth about it.
I think there's an opportunity to get real within this community again, Guy, as we always talk about. And we're all in business, guys. Whether you're working for somebody else or you're working for yourself or you own a business, everybody's in business. And we might as well do it to the best of our ability so that we can reap the greatest outcome. And right now we're living in a digital world. Everything is digital, right? We've got these supercomputers we call smartphones in our pocket, and the average person is spending almost 4.5 hours a day with their eyeballs glued to it. So if you're not in front of your audience where their attention is, it's lost opportunity. And when we talk about leveraging technology from an Elify perspective, it's about simplifying and scaling down common technology so that we can all implement them and we can all reap the benefits of capitalizing on those opportunities. So this week's theme was introducing yourself. How do you introduce yourself? And introducing yourself in a whole new way. And one of the things where all of this starts out with is our digital business card. And Guy, I mean, we've said it over and over again. We'll continue to say it. If you're still using that analog model, the traditional business card, and expecting it to provide you with a great deal of business success, you're doing it wrong. I hate to break it to you, you're doing it wrong. Those things are so wasteful. 9 out of 10 are getting thrown away, and you have to give out. This is what blows my mind. And we had a roundtable yesterday, Guy, with and I know James is just below me here, and I'm going to bring up something that James has said when I talk about this next business card stat, because you have to give out 2,500 traditional business cards to see a 2% uptick in your business. And James had provided this example, and I'm probably not going to do it justice. I'm going to paraphrase. So James, if you want to come in after me and correct me in any way, please feel free. But you had said, look, I can look right now on a digital business card and I have measurability. I know how many times I've shared it, and I know how many times this card has been viewed. And the most important thing that James expressed is, it wasn't just I've got less views than I have shares. I actually have more views than I've shared it out. So I know the people I've shared it out are doing one of two things. They're looking at it over and over again, or they're resharing it out to other people. Now, the question we want to ask ourselves is, would you rather give somebody a piece of paper to introduce yourself that 9 times out of 10 they're going to throw in the garbage can, or it's going to sit on their desk, or it's going to go in the shoebox? Or do you want something that they can engage in immediately, that they interact with, and that's an experience that you've curated for them? And that's really what it boils down to. Now, James, I saw you throw your hand up there, so please feel free to chime in on this topic.
Yeah, thanks. Once again, thank you all for joining us today. I'm glad to get on today. When I was talking about yesterday, I was telling everybody about how I actually grabbed my phone and I bring up the show to the client. Yeah. This is my actual card. Yep. This is how many times I sent it out. This is how many times I've had clicks or interaction with it. Now, unlike a paper card, I have no idea when I dropped it off at that location, if it's been picked up, if it's been put in the trash, what's going on. I'm also going to show the fact that some of us have those names people have hard times announcing, spelling, address. So when I mess up my digital card, I can literally sit in front of you and fix it, and it updates. And that's actually saving me versus the 500 to 1,000 cards that were all mistakes, and I got to throw them in the trash. I also can tell you I'm getting my money's worth. So I actually can see the money I spent on my digital card, how it's bringing me the analytics, the clients, and the assistance versus my paper card. Well, I hope somebody picks it up, I hope somebody carries it around. And as I'm giving out that card and ER walks away, how do I know if he's actually interacting with it? Versus when I can take my tap card and I tap it to his phone and I can see his face and expression go, whoa, what is this? And okay, if he decides to interact with me, I get the automatic ding notification that ER has actually looked at my card or at least interact with it. So that's what I was speaking about yesterday. And the last thing I mentioned was, what do you want or wish that your marketing did for you that is not doing now.
That's right.
And basically everything that we had to answer for was all included at a one-stop shop in the Elify shuffle card versus my paper card and trying to hope and pray it goes a certain way. 2,500 cards wasted because somebody put flower instead of flowers.
Yeah.
2,500 cards going away because they say, is it Mr. Wolf or is it ER Wolf?
Right.
You got to think about those small details that will affect your card being used and mistaken. I can tell you, for example, I actually had a paper flyer I did for one of my other businesses just this week that I printed out for a group, and I was passing it out, and the guy pointed out, oh, the lettering on your email, 2 of the letters are backwards. Wow.
Yeah.
How embarrassing was that for me? But how enlightening was it to say, you know what? Had I had this on my digital card from Elify, quick fix, over and done. Back to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for all that insight, James. And I think there's a few things there, but the big one is we only get one chance to make a first impression when we meet somebody. Think about that, right? When you meet somebody for the first time, whether you're actively out there prospecting or whether the opportunity to connect with somebody happens out of the blue, serendipitously, you only get one chance to make a good first impression. And Guy, I know you would take that a step further because we don't just want to create a good first impression. Like when somebody sees the material, like James is talking about, you tap their card and there's magic in the eyes when they open it up, or they see on your card that you've got videos and links. Maybe it's even a welcome message from you. If you've got a hard name to pronounce and you sit and you introduce yourself in a video and now they hear it and they see you, they're putting that connection together. You only get one chance to make a good first impression, but you really don't just want to make a good first impression. You want to make a lasting impression, guys. And that's really what we're talking about when we start to leverage technology to accomplish some of these functions within our business. Now, the other thing I want to bring up to James, what you were talking about is it's not just about a digital business card, right? The way we introduce ourselves is just one step in an overall process of engagement with the individuals and relationships we have that takes them from the introduction to becoming our customer to ultimately referring us out to other potential prospects and customers. And I think that's what's so important. That's the missed opportunity that we see all the time when most people are just looking for the one and done. I just want to sell to somebody, fulfill that, and then move on to the next one. It's almost like the hunter-gatherer versus the farmer. And we had this agricultural revolution, if we look back into our history, where we actually realized that if we planted seeds and we domesticated the animals, it was a lot easier than just eating what we killed and then going out hunting again when we got hungry. And yet so many people are doing that in their business every single day. So Elify's Shuffle solution is so much more than just a digital business card, right? It's the marketing materials, as Guy was talking about, that you share out after you've started the relationship, the things that answer the common questions that your prospect have, or that highlight you, your brand, your product, your service, and how you're going to bring value to that person so that they can make an informed decision to become your customer. It's about the relationship that builds out of that so that after they become your customer, you follow through with them and you provide them the excellent service and the excellent customer experience. So ultimately, they then turn around and take that initial card that you gave them, and they can share that and refer you to other people. And that's really what this is. It's not just about selling to people, it's about selling through people. We talk about this all the time on a lot of our calls. The average person knows 600 other people. So when some people are looking at a group of individuals on a Zoom call here going, it'd be great if all of them were my customers, you need to take a step back and say, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times 600, that's 6,000 additional potential relationships if I actually do my role in offering quality value to those people, offering quality service, offering quality products, and doing that in the 21st century. The last thing I want to add, and Guy, I'll throw it over to you or anybody else. If you've got a question, a tip, a trick, a comment, a testimonial, please feel free to use the reactions to raise your hand or throw that in the chat below. If you haven't sent your digital business card to network with anybody, throw that in the chat as well. But really, this is just about optimizing the way that we run our businesses. I mentioned we're in the midst of a digital revolution. This started out in the 90s and 80s, and even before that with computers, guys. Anybody else remember dial-up modems? I'm going to start dating myself, right? We're seeing this progression. You know, the smartphone, the true smartphone that I like to believe, yeah, Blackberries and all these other ones had some type of online system, but we're talking mobile browsers and things like that. You're talking about 2007. Guys, that was not that long ago, less than 15 years ago. Yeah, James has got the AOL. You remember that? Like, I remember the noise distinctively, and then I remember waiting an hour for a picture to download. You know what I mean? So we've come a long way, and the thing we need to ask ourselves is, what is that trend line going to continue to do? If you look at where we're at right now and you extrapolate this out, because that's really what we want to be thinking about now and into the future, and how to position ourselves right now and how to set ourselves up to capitalize on the future. And the reality is, guys, there's about 40% of businesses, and I pulled up some of the statistics. I'm a big math and analytical guy. 30 plus million businesses are registered in the United States, and 99.9% of them are small businesses. Think about this, right? They're people just like you and me who are running businesses. That's in addition to the sales professionals, the work at home professionals, or the business professionals who are out there working for these businesses, who all need solutions that are going to give them a competitive advantage. And the 40% of those businesses, guys, that's got to be about 10 million small businesses out there just in the US. We're not talking worldwide, because we're talking hundreds of millions worldwide here. 40% of them don't have an online presence. I want you to think about that, right? We talked about this trend curve, and we talked about, you know, how do we introduce ourselves? How do we connect with those individuals? If you don't have an online presence, you don't exist in that world. You don't exist to them. They can't find you. They can't locate you. They can't learn about you. They don't know about your products. They don't know about your service. Don't you think that money is being spent online right now? I remember in the early internet day, people used to show of hands if you spent any money online, and you'd be in a community and you'd start to see some hands go up, right? Anybody spent more than $100 online? You know, I have $1,000, guys. You know what I mean? Now we have become comfortable with e-commerce, with finding the things that we're looking for online, identifying those things that will fill our need, going through the copy, as I know Coach Jeff will talk about, and making an informed decision to make a purchase. So if you don't have any of that at your disposal in your business, how are you capitalizing on that market? And we're not talking hundreds of dollars. We're not talking thousands of dollars, guys. Trillions of dollars are being transacted online right now. It's almost unfathomable. I'm starting to see the shift, right? The balance of spending going from offline to online. Will offline always have a place? Absolutely. But as we saw during the pandemic in 2020, things can even slow down offline and be thrust even more online. There's almost like this protection or this cushion that we can all be together yet separated, like we are right now on Zoom. So we still want to be able to capitalize on that. And that's really what we're talking about with Elify, is how do we access those marketplaces, create experiences for the people we're interacting with, build those relationships over time, and acquire more and more customers so that we can see the success that we deserve in our business. So I know I've been up on my soapbox here for a little bit, guys. I typically do that a lot, but I'm super passionate about this. I'm passionate because I know each and every one of us is capable of achieving that success. As Jeff would say, I know it because I've been there before. I remember starting out online for the first time, right? The first website I ever built, and we're talking early 2000s, more than 20 years ago. And it was an eye-opening experience when I saw money coming in while I was asleep, while my website was up. If you've posted a link in social media, your shuffle link for one of your shuffle cards, that link is evergreen. If somebody halfway around the world goes on to that Facebook group and clicks on your link, you don't have to be there live talking to that person. Your digital marketing material is speaking on your behalf. I mean, that opens up a whole new world of efficiency and optimization in your business that if you aren't leveraging or capitalizing on right now is missed opportunity. So we want to help you capitalize on that opportunity, and that's really what we're focused on right here, right? That's the abundance mentality. So guys, again, tips, tricks, questions, comments, anything like that, this is the time.
A lot of things are going to just be based in our community and within growing the network is being active,
Yep.
right? Is implementing and doing things, because you mentioned putting things online. Well, how active are we doing things online?
Mhm.
You know, if we're sitting in social media and scrolling through other people's feeds to consume their information, are they consuming yours?
Yeah.
Or are you doing anything for them to consume what you're sharing? Right? Yeah, we talk about it all the time and laugh about it, that, you know, on Facebook, you get a lot of videos that are irrelevant. You get a lot of image pictures of what someone's eating, and like, what is that doing for me, other than wasting my time if I'm going to sit there to consume your information, instead of providing something that may be of value to someone in whatever they're doing. If they may be looking for businesses or different ways to get ahead. You see it a lot more over in the LinkedIn platform from a business aspect of where people are searching, how they can interact, how they can build community, how they can grow and work together. But it's really just brought into that little tiny platform that, okay, we got to connect here so we can interact, instead of providing multiple ways of interaction and being able to connect with each other. When we're introducing ourselves and having a conversation with someone and starting to network, we have to go into the conversation or into the networking group knowing that we're coming here to listen to other people's needs, their problems, and their processes. But also knowing when I'm leaving, I've got to ask the correct questions on how I can support them, on what can I do or what can I take away from this conversation to support you? And I think that's where a lot of things can be opened up from those conversations, that they'll tell you their needs and their wants. Like, well, I need you to let other people know that I've got a DJ business. Okay, great. James, you have a DJ business. How am I going to share that information out to others? Well, I've got a business card and I've got a website, you know, in the traditional way, in the way that everyone's doing it today. Instead of saying, okay, you've got this DJ business, I think I can support you in getting more information out about what you do. There's a digital form to be able to do this. You can control the messaging. You can control whatever you want from the content on it, the design, whatever. But when you take the step and saying, yes, this is something that I can use in my business to support you in helping me get my information out, my ears open a little bit more. Both of them are open to the aspect of, well, what do you have? Because that might be something that is worth taking a look at. We want to leave these conversations and these interactions with the takeaways, with, I want to be able to take away to support is the whole goal, the mission in networking. It's not, you know, just here's all my information and go share it to people. The way everyone's doing it up until Elify shows up is business cards, flyers, PDFs, or on that business card, here's my social links, and here is my website. Make sure you type that in correctly. It's a .co instead of a .com.
Yep.
Well, we can have an interactive form of this where I don't have to type it in. You control that. You make sure I'm going to the correct place, and I can show you a way to support you in a way that when I leave this conversation, I leave this relationship, I'm going to follow through in the support to show you that there's a simpler way. Might not be easy, but when you implement, you start seeing results. You start seeing where you shared something 76 times and have 1,000 views on it.
Yep. I agree. Jeff, you've been patient. Thanks for having that hand up. Go ahead, my friend.
I'm always patient. I just want to make sure that there's no ladies that want to go first. And also, I do have something for James. You know, we talked before the call to make sure that we were wearing blue, but I thought we were going to go with the orange t-shirts underneath. James, what happened? Come on, we got to get on the same page here.
Sorry, I'm not a Bronco fan, so I can't go that way.
Ooh, what a good. So I've got
like your
three
color
different
choice,
things,
though.
and I just don't know what because yesterday I promised I would come on with some stuff, but one of the things, let's just start with a story because everybody loves a good story. So this is a paper business card that I received yesterday. Yeah. If any of you are my friends on Facebook, you probably saw my post yesterday because I went on about 115 years, the home that my parents were in the garage. I got a picture and I did a nice post for these guys, which included dad, and then the son and the daughter actually were the three that worked on the project. So personalization, they see this as a nice family. I wrote a little story about how they helped. And the thing was, I made sure that John, the son, friended me on Facebook, and I accepted his friend. I said, dude, you've got a Facebook. So what I'm giving you guys now, I'm setting up, how do you get to the introduction of Elify Shuffle? Mm-hmm. Okay. I didn't just dive in and say, hey, there's this great company and there's this great guy. I did tell him that actually a little bit. But my point is, I needed to set the way I operate, and this isn't the way some of you operate on different social platforms and you use email is different. But really, Facebook is my starting point as long as that person is in that world. I mean, there's a lot of people that aren't on Facebook. I get it. And so then you go more traditional route, text, this and that. But what I'm setting up for you is if I'm dealing with a small business owner, the first thing I do is I become a friend with that person. And then I've got groups, I've got your groups, whatever, that I can get. And I find out what their page is. I said, you guys got a Facebook business page? Well, years back, I became an expert on how to use Facebook business pages and how to put your link all different places all over the Facebook page. And so, yeah, Jeff, we do. I said, you have a group, is it a group or a page? So you just be real specific, right? So you start with the power of Facebook, right? In my situation with these guys. So now I'm a friend with John. I'm also liked his page. And then I explained to him, I said, I'm a bit of I help people with social media and marketing. I said, one of the things I like to do, because you guys did an amazing job, is the following. Could I do this for you as I'm handing over a lot of money? I said, what I'd like to do is, John, friend me, and I'm going to get back to Des Moines. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to like your page. And then what I'm going to do, and the way this works is, and you probably already know this, maybe they do, maybe they don't, is that a lot of the restaurants that I go to, I'm a big guy for supporting local business. So now all of a sudden I'm building that rapport that, hey man, this guy could really help us. He's got some skills, maybe a little knowledge, and he wants to help our, media expansion, our marketing, because we don't have time for it. They're too busy pounding nails. Yeah. And so what I did was I went and I checked out their page. I hacked it. Okay. I hacked it. I clicked on their website. Oh, they got a website. Cool. Guess what, everybody? It didn't go anywhere. It went to that space in the sky that said that it was a broken link. Yeah. Nothing worse than having a broken link, right? So they've got this big, long link that you have to sit and type in. Then they have this phone number that I have to put in my phone. So already you're starting to see where I'm going with this. Already the advantages of the Elify card, touch, and you instantly are, people want time, they want to move fast. So last night I get home and I take the time to craft, and this is how you do it sometimes. I craft it digitally. I take my time, write simple little, emotion-based copy. I mentioned how if my mom and dad were alive, they'd be looking down from heaven and they would just be thrilled with this, finally having a garage that my dad thought they could never have. But I went through hell and high water to get a garage in there. The point is, I'm thanking the crap out of these guys for helping me and all my other contractors that have come through in this sort of time of need and my injury and living 2 hours away, blah, blah, blah. That's my story, right? So I'm in the pit and I'm coming out of the pit and the answer is these guys, right? And so now the next step is what? I tag John in the post and I also tag him in the comments so that he can go get it and then throw it onto and it's showing up on his business page. So now he's got what's more valuable than a testimonial.
Yeah.
I basically, instead of them bragging about themselves on their business page, he's got me bragging about them on their business page. Is this making sense to you guys?
Absolutely.
I haven't even got to shuffle. This is all preliminary work. That isn't that much work.
Yeah.
But if you just take the time to think it through, don't ever walk away where you don't get that connection. Yeah, exchange phone numbers, text, but get connected on social media, because then guess what? You can do far more. I'm doing far more for these guys, not just by taking his name and then sending them a thing to my, hey, check out how great Elify is. Now I've built rapport and appreciation. And one of the most important things is reciprocity. Write down that word, please, because it's one of the most powerful things in the world to build influences when you do something for somebody, right? And so now when he wanted my information, it wasn't like I have to like convince him to get, he wants to know more about Elify Shuffle. I already established that. But instead of rushing to send him my link, and think about your business, we rush to send him the link to your company or your whatever. And instead of doing that, let that relationship that you've developed build a little bit, and then you can go ahead and share the information that they want.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pause there for a second, let that marinate with you guys. Is any of this making sense?
Yeah, I think this is great, Jeff. Really good stuff. And I think the power of the relationship that you talked about, and the ability for us to create that know, like, trust relationship, right? It's not just throwing it in their face. And again, guys, we see this happening all the time. We feel it happening to us. And yet there's a part of us that wants to turn around and say, oh, that's the way it's done, and do it. And Jeff, what you're calling out is no, there's a process, there's a system of building that trust process with somebody, and starting to create the bridge that you're talking about. The other thing that I want to highlight is, and commend you for, is providing the testimonial. I mean, what an impact, right? Isn't that the referral we're talking about? When your customers turn around, and they may not be directly saying it to somebody else or handing over information, but when you give a referral, you're essentially providing a testimonial, so to provide them with an evergreen testimonial that they can put on their digital card or put on their business page can have such a massive impact in their future success. Think about that. Likewise, if you're running a business, don't negate the fact that you might want to ask for a testimonial. If somebody has said to you what great work you've done, how much they've loved stuff, it's great to hear those things, guys. And we love hearing it about Elify all the time, but create the video, take it upon yourself, as Jeff was talking about, and provide that so that then it can be reused, or ask for that and request it if you feel like the relationship is strong enough to do that. Keep going, Jeff.
So what I'd like to do, if my health allows me to get to Denver next week, we talked about, I had some things on crushing the chains of false belief, right? Breaking those things. And it's a 4-step process. So I won't do that today, but I'm happy. I've got a quick little mini training I'd be happy to do for you guys. But one of the things I would like to share is the following. And again, I love this line, and it's used by some of the best marketers in the world, is and again, ER and Guy, I'm sure you get this all the time. The first question we always get as co-founders or founders of Elify is, what's a digital business card? Yes. Yeah. What is the same question I get? Hey, do you have a digital business card? Right? We always have this approach. Well, you got paper. Don't you know about digital? Well, they kind of know maybe what it is, but really, what's the number? So this line is a perfect preemptive line. It's called a pre-headline, right? And I use it all the time. What's the first question I always get is, Jeff, what is it? What the heck is a digital business card? And you know what the second question I get? Jeff, why do I need 10 digital business cards? You ready? This is just a partial list. Number 1, how about the hand raiser digital? And I'm going to give these names if that's okay. The hand raiser digital business card, right? Eric Worre teaches, the frame, are you open to learn more, right? Nobody says no to, are you open to learn more? Not, are you ready to buy my can of delicious soda right now? Would you like to learn more about this, the nutritional, benefits of this? Yeah, I'm open to learn more. So you got your door opener, which is your Elify card, right? Keep it simple, you guys. Make it the hand raiser card. So now you've got you got their Yes, you get them to raise their hand, however you want to do it, campaign, whatever, fill out this form, click this button, whatever. And then you have, and again, you can do as many sequences. I've written a 14-day email sequence, but just do maybe a 3-day sequence, which is the first digital business card. Now this would be like the big news. Hey, I'm glad you blah, blah, blah. Here's the big news. You announce your thing. And then the second one is, hey, it's last call, blah, blah, blah. And then sort of this time element type thing. So you can use that urgency sequence of cards. Okay, that'd be if you're a little more advanced. How about the comeback card? And you guys, how many of you have started down the path working with somebody? You oh man, they're so interested, and then it's sort of like there's ghost time. Well, have a comeback card that says, hey, life gets in the way. Kids, you're driving, you're going, and oh my gosh, I understand, I get it. Life gets in the way. I'm busy too. So, but I did know that you were interested. You showed some interest in blah, blah, blah. And I wanted to get back to you to make sure that you had all blah, blah, blah. So you have what's called the comeback Elify card, right? Then you have a deadline card, right? Urgency, right? Come up with some kind of a card. I know we don't have the countdown timers yet. And so, your tech team, boy, if they could get a countdown timer, Jeffrey would use that almost all the time. And how about the flash sale, right? How many of it? I mean, you got Black Friday. I'm already getting pitched about Black Friday and it's 49 days out. So you have a flash sale. Hey, just wanted to let you know, I got an amazing flash sale. In the meantime, I'm going to sell you my makeup kit or whatever, the shake, weight loss shake. So you got a flash sale Elify card that you can keep changing right throughout the year. Just have one, but then change it to the Black Friday, then the Christmas flash sale, the Valentine's flash sale. You want me to keep going? There's 10 cards, right? The new offer card, right? Hey, we got a brand new offer, right? You're starting a new business. You got a new thing cooking, your new offer. Or those of you that are in businesses where your company's coming up with new products all the time. Hey, we got this new eyeliner product coming out. So you come up with one digital card. Don't blast them with the whole company, blah, blah, blah. Give them one card that is, hey, just wanted to let you know our whatever, my amazing company or whatever, I'm coming out with a brand new product that helps you lose 10 pounds in 5 minutes. Wanted to let you know. A referral card. You talked about referrals, guy. How about have just a card? And if you ever need help with what to ask in a referral card, you can put it in your campaign or whatever. And you just have a card that is a referral card that when you're done with and you got a satisfied customer, oh, Jeff, thanks, man. You've been so much help. Oh, listen, I'm going to send you over what I call my referral digital card. Would that be okay with you? Yeah, sure. Send it over. It's going to take less than 1 minute. I promise. It's not one of those long surveys. So I send over my referral card, which is what the guy that just worked for me, he should have sent over, because if I wasn't like openly, like actively doing testimonials. So those are just some. So if you want, I could go webinar card, right? I've got my video presentation webinar card. Do you want, then there's that. So the list goes on and on, you guys. 10 cards, are you kidding? I need 100. No. You got to upgrade.
So true, Jeff. Look, we talk about it all the time, guys. It's all about sending the right information to the right person at the right time. And if they're looking for something specific, you want to have a card specific for that. And that's really what it boils down to. And that's why we provide 10 cards. That's why some of us on this call have 100 cards or hundreds of cards, is because we want to provide the right information to the right person at the right time. We know a confused mind always says no. So we want to eliminate the noise and address specifically what we're trying to address with that card at that time. James, go ahead.
Man, me and Jeff definitely got to get together to do some training, because everything I had on my list to cover, Jeff went over just about every darn thing. I'm like, man, he's all in my notepad, which is great. One of the things that I say when I don't just say Facebook, when I say let's meet and greet, I said, what social media are you using?
Yes.
Because you have this or that. I tried to build them up on Facebook and LinkedIn. So now I have Scott, who's out in what did he say? He's in Maine. So hey, Scott, I'm tapping on your phone. Let's show you how to do it. But the thing I look at is I'm looking at all social media doing, Scott. But I mean, my question I have as a business person, how do you feel about the marketing that's going on? How's your marketing going? What are you doing outside of this? And let him educate me on his marketing. Like, wow, okay, that's pretty good, man. Hey, I've been doing this right here, tap. And I tell them about it. What do you think about this? How would that work for you? Like, oh, that's not bad. Hey, and you know what? Hey, So I'm just meeting you, Scott. First time I'm going, let's make a good connection, man. Let me give you one of these cards for free. Here's a card you can use for free, man. Test it out, like it. If you don't like it, it's just something I tried. I don't know what you're at mentally or tech-wise, but it's something you can go with and go out there. I'll expand on the social media that Jeff's saying as far as branding that person. I teach a class on how to actually how to tag and get your one post to be seen to 6 million people minimum. We're all in Colorado. Do you know you guys can put in Jeff Bain, the best coaching ever, tag at Denver Broncos, at Denver Nuggets, at Colorado Rockies, all of those major sports organizations, you can tag them in your post free of charge. So anybody who's actually following them will actually get that look for you. So if you try it today, your post will go out to 4 to 6 million people who you don't know, who may reach back out, but it's all about putting the notion out there and letting it just float, go when needs to go at. And in closing, as ER said, I told yesterday, instead of trying to talk to the entire world, come into your niche. Yeah. Who can you talk to and relate to? I can relate to veterans and people from down south, all easy and quickly. And I stay in that lane, I let it expand out. So don't try to get everybody, get the people you're supposed to get with, and they'll bring other folks to you. Back to you.
I love that, James. I love that. And what I love most about this community, guys, and I'm hearing it on today's call as well, is the abundance mentality we all have to share information with each other, to provide tips, to provide tricks, to provide some best practices or things that have resulted in a return for us and how we're using this technology to support our business. And that's really what I want people to get out of this. Yes, Elify is going to provide what we believe is an amazing suite of tools, whether that's Shuffle, whether that's Tap, whether that's anything we will be bringing in the future. But ultimately, we want you to put those tools into action, adopt best practices, and apply them so that you can get the most out of those tools. So Anna, you've been really patient. Thank you so much. I know we were on a call yesterday as you come off, and as we continued to ideate, going back to Jeff's 10 cards, it was like, oh, we could have a card for this. We could have a card. And the person we're talking to is like, and a card for this, and a card for this, and a card for this. And I think once you start talking to somebody about how they could use things, they start to see the picture of, oh, wow, yeah, I could use it here and I could use it there. You know, there's so many different ways to use this technology. You just have to pick one or start somewhere and build up from there. So go ahead. Thanks for joining.
Thank you so much, ER. An amazing call yesterday. It was so much fun. And yeah, I sent you a copy of the comments that she sent to me, you know, what a great meeting, and I got it. And, you know, that's our next step, and she's all ready to go. So I really thank you for that. And I want you to know, Angelo, he did a great job of sharing your story. A great job. And it was very exciting. I just want to point out something to Facebook users. There's users and abusers. We all know that, right? Have a personal page. Keep your personal stuff on your page. If you do post business stuff, do it like, you know, 10% of the time. You know, as a reminder, this is what I do. But if you're going to like someone's personal page and you're going to post your business stuff, be prepared to be blocked or hidden, because they're not allowing you on their page to promote your business. It's a personal page. Create a business Facebook page and use the heck out of it. And by the way, LinkedIn is coming up for some big changes. So you want to get on board with what's happening at LinkedIn, because they are definitely going the professional route. And they're putting in some algorithms that are very heavily directed in that direction. I learned a little bit about that from Laura Barker. She does a lot of master classes. She's one of the top people for marketing LinkedIn, essentially, or using it. And I thank you for the brand ambassador for Elify. Oh, I love that. So back to you. I'm complete.
Yeah, thank you, Anna, for that. And thank you for sharing these tips. Again, I think everywhere that we are out doing our thing, whether it's online or offline, there are best practices. As Anna's talking about, there are best practices. And when we move forward in those best practices, we'll reap the rewards of doing it that way. I want to add to this, sometimes the saying, and I'm a big quotes guy because I think they remind me so much of what I should be doing. There's an old saying, telling isn't selling, right? The person asking the questions controls the conversation. So sometimes when you're talking to people, even in groups, asking something about the problem that you solve, or the problem that your service solves, or the problem that your product solves, and just planting the seed out there, not necessarily promoting your offering, but asking about that. Has anybody ever dealt with this? They don't know whether you're a provider of that, or they don't know that you're asking it because you have that problem yourself. People can start to identify with that, and they'll start to ask questions back or give comments, and you start dialogue. And then you can take that dialogue outside of the group because you've sorted from within that group. Those individuals have started to raise their hand, and that's an opportunity to maybe direct message and continue the conversation. And again, this is what it boils down to, right? We talked about opening this up with introducing ourselves in a whole new way. That's the start of the conversation. Somebody knows who you are, right? You might be sharing just your personal contact card. To Jeff's point, you can have multiple cards versus your business contact card. And then you're having that dialogue, building that relationship. And inevitably, if you do it correctly, they're going to self-sort for you and identify to you. And if you do it correctly, they'll start coming to you and start asking the questions. Guy and I have seen this happen before. Whoa, I've been answering all these questions. Let me ask you some questions. What is this? What is that? How does this work? Guys, they're going to start leading themselves in a way down a path that supports you. I mean, we see this all the time with the experience with the tap card. Wait a second, what did you just do? How did you do that? Guys, those are questions, right? Oh, that's easy. I work with this company. This is a solution they provide. It helps me do this. If you want, I can give you some more information. Are you open to receiving more information about this? Again, you can start to learn these best practices, and that's what this community is all about, and then apply them. This is the biggest thing I can say right now, is if you learn something new, apply it. Take the opportunity to fail forward. I know there's a big fear of failure for a lot of people, maybe even a fear of success. Apply it, put it into action, throw it out there and see what happens. And you're going to get one of two answers, right? It doesn't work or it does. If it does, you scale it up. If it doesn't, you turn it off and you try something new. That's how we progress forward with all of this stuff. So guys, if there's anything else anybody has, please raise your hand or unmute and join the conversation. Otherwise, I want to take the last 10 minutes to sort of close this thing down and talk about our Lfi Ambassador Program. Any questions, guys? Okay. Well, then let's take an opportunity in these last 10 minutes to really talk about our ambassadors, and really that potentially is each and every one of you. We're on a mission to take this technology to the world. The reality is we rely 100% on our existing customer base to do that. These are our raving fans, somebody who's had an experience with Shuffle. Shuffle has helped them, or Tap has helped them, or Elify has helped them. Even the community has helped them, and they've seen value and they want to share that to the rest of the world, just like Jeff was talking about with the testimonial. And if you do that, here's our deal with you. As an ambassador, you activate your affiliate status and you basically get paid to share. If somebody comes in through one of your links, one of your cards, promotional material we provided to you, extra links we provide to you, discount codes we provided to you, you get credit for making that introduction, for making that referral. And you don't just get credit one time, you get paid over and over and over for the life of that customer. And we don't just stop right there saying, hey, we're going to give you a slice of that person's fees for the rest of their subscription. We also allow you to have leverage, meaning if additional referrals result from that customer, you're going to get paid on that for a full 6 degrees of separation. We've made it extremely easy. I typically pull up some charts, but I'm just going to tell you off the top of my head because it should be so easy that anybody can remember this. You're going to get 10% directly for everybody you refer for the life of that customer. And for anything that results from those referrals, you're going to get 8% for a full 6 degrees of separation. Now we have additional leverage that you can achieve through your direct referrals. If you directly refer 10 people, 20 people, 30 people, 40 people, you can get up to 10 degrees of separation at an additional 1% on 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we've got a great chart over on our affiliate page of the website if you're interested in learning more. And guys, I want to talk briefly about the difference between an ambassador and an affiliate. And the reason is because there's a lot of passive referrals that happen with our affiliates, right? They're out there using the technology each and every day, and they're creating magic and experiences for the people they're interacting with. And that generates the question. That's when they say, what is that? How is that? And I want to talk about the ambassador who says, no, I'm a product of the product. I want to go out and actively promote this brand, this company, and this community. And in doing so, they're actively looking for those referrals. So that's really what we're looking for to come alongside with you. We're going to be doing some interesting stuff in the new year with our ambassadors to support them with additional training. If you're interested in that type of stuff, just keep that in the back of your mind as we roll forward with stuff. No difference on the commissionable payouts right now for the ambassadors versus the affiliates or anything like that. The biggest difference is active versus passive. I want you to think about that. One of the easiest things is just to be a product of the product. And then if you've created a product experience, just like Jeff was talking about with the testimonial, take an opportunity to start sharing that with the world. You'll be amazed at what you start to receive back in questions and other things like that. So Guy, I don't know if you have anything to add on that. I know we've got a few minutes left, but I'm good to go.
Yeah, I think the only thing to glean, and if you can read into it a little bit, we are talking ambassador compared to affiliate. So ER is mentioning in the new year. So if you have affiliates within your network, I would encourage them to become active in our meetings and understand that there is going to be a little bit of a shift between the two and how they work. That change isn't happening overnight. Like we'll start announcing more next month and then more into December. And if you're not in the know by January, then you can consider yourself just not active. But the active ambassadors, I think there's going to be a lot of additional opportunity for each ambassador. Doesn't mean that I need to be active. Yeah, it's got to be an active aspect for an ambassador, but there's additional opportunity there as well. And we're just excited to be able to continue to work behind the scenes on making sure these things are correct. You'll also see that there'll be a change in your terms of service, which you'll agree to, and everyone will agree to. But I mean, it's no shocker when the difference between them and what they will be. We're not trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. It's just active versus passive.
Absolutely. So super excited about that. I know we've been working in the background on some ambassador trainings and other things like that, support materials. I don't know, James, maybe it's even going to be logoed shirts and some other things that you guys can use out there as well when you go out and actively represent the brand. But that's what we're super excited about. Again, our number one mission as Elify, right? We want to elevate your business. We want to simplify your life. And it's all about supporting the success of the everyday business owner, the entrepreneur, the professional salesperson, or the business professional to get out, to be more digital, and to take their business to the next level. So guys, with that being said, I want to thank you all for your time. I want to encourage you to have a great rest of your Friday. Go will, skill, and refill over the weekend. We'll be kicking things off as we always do next week on Monday. I actually have a pop-up event in Colorado Springs with James down here, and Kathy, I know she's not on the call, our master trainer, because she's out at an event right now. We'll be holding that pop-up event on Monday in the Springs for that local business community down there. But if you're in the area, let us know. And if we've got space, you're welcome to join us here in Colorado Springs, Colorado for that pop-up event. I know it's a holiday on Monday as well. We might do a quick little sprint planning reminder for that call. And then Tech Tuesday on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Central Time. We do some ambassador Q&A on Wednesday nights. Make sure to check out the communities for those postings. Thursday roundtable discussion, and back to where we are today with Friday with the Founders. So in closing, I'm just going to post the week at a glance card for anybody who needs that in the chat. And otherwise, we'll see everybody next weekend or next week. Have a good weekend. Will, skill, refill over the weekend, everybody. Take care.
Happy birthday, Anna. Take care.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy 21st birthday, Anna.
That's
Thank
right.
you. Another one. Oh, gosh.